likes me. Nobody likes me. But that's okay, cause I don't like y'all anyway. And I don't like y'all anyway.
We need to pay attention to all this stuff. And don't muddy the waters. Don't let your mind get sidetracked. Because you need to remember that when, it's going to be time to vote again soon. So it's going to be local elections, all this stuff, everything, all these elections. You have to remember that the Republicans would rather collude with Russians than collude with Americans.
Them Staten Island niggas still puffing them dust blunt.
Donald Trump is a white supremacist who enables white supremacists. No lie. I mean, that's accurate. It's an accurate assessment of the situation.
Them Staten Island niggas still puffing them dust blunt.
Dragnets. How do they work? Just say no. Yeah. Here's the problem with just saying no. You can go about your life trying not to do drugs, but you turn on the news and you see Wigmaster over there talking about public health emergencies. That's why drugs are hard to stop. Because of people like that. Big week. It's always a big week. Can't we please have an uneventful week? That's all I want. All I want is one.
Them Staten Island niggas still puffing them dust blunt.
Oh, Jay, why are you wearing that resist shirt? What are you resisting? Bunch of isms and trees. Bigotry, misogyny, racism, fascism, and sexism. The people here are the people on the South Shore, in the rich neighborhoods, the richer neighborhoods, not the poor neighborhoods, are brought up on bigotry, hatred, and classification of, societal roles. Hey, yo! What goes on, peeps? Who's in your house? Dyze in your house. That's who. Every Friday, we are coming to you on YouTube at 6 o'clock, but we got big news. We have huge news concerning Dyze in your house. We have huge news concerning the Friday podcast that we're doing here at J Pork's headquarters. I guess that's what we're calling it now. We have big news because up until this will be the first week that I get to talk to you about. I get to talk to you about this on the podcast. Last week, I got us our very own channel on iTunes, on the podcast app. That's right, folks. So the podcast app comes with all of your iPhones. It comes with your phone. It's in iTunes. You can open up iTunes. You go look for podcasts, and here's what you do. You go find Least Coast Radio. That's Least Coast Radio. It's like East Coast, but it's got an L, because that's what I'm constantly holding living here in North Texas. And that was the name that's not taken. So if you search the podcast app on iTunes, if you search the podcast app, you search for J Porks, you'll find me. You search for Dyze in your house, you'll find me. Put in J Porks, you'll find me. Put in Least Coast Radio, you'll find me. Put in my government name and you will find me, because I got a little tired of all of my family members needing detailed directions on how to find my podcast when they're all available at jporks.com. So, every Friday at 6 o'clock, you can get this on YouTube. You can also get this on the podcast app in video form, in the same video slideshow form that I have it in on YouTube. That is available on the podcast app. You can download audio and listen to it like that, or when I eventually start getting video podcasts going, you can have me on your little phone talking to you, talking at you, and you're going to love it. So, exciting things happening here at, Least Coast Radio. Least Coast Radio. There's exciting things happening here. And I'm hoping to I want to bring you multiple podcasts. There's going to be more than this. I got more people I want to do podcasts with. And that's coming in the future. So just stick with me. This is the simmer. We're just getting started. Okay. Before I get started this week, I just want to tell everybody that on Monday, news hasn't broken this weekend, but I'm fairly certain I'm going to spend a little amount of time talking about that new Eminem song that came out called Untouchable. So pause this. Well, don't pause this. This is only going to be like 20 minutes. But after you listen to this, I need you to go to YouTube. I need you to type in Eminem Untouchable. And I need you to listen to that. And that's your homework for the weekend. And we'll come back and we'll talk about that on the J Parks podcast on Monday. Along with many other things in long form. But I could spend an entire 20 minutes talking about the song. So I'm not going to do it. Just listen. Let me know what you think. Okay. This week, Al Franken announced that he will be resigning in the next couple of weeks due to allegations of sexual misconduct. Now, before I get on a tangent, I just want to make this clear from the beginning. What Al Franken did was wrong. I believe the women. And there is no place, there shouldn't be a place for sexual misconduct anywhere. Should not be a thing. So I'm just gonna go on record and saying that. There is no excusing it. Okay? Now, he apologized for most of the allegations. There was a recent one that came out this week, maybe 2-3 days ago, that he is categorically denying. But other than that, the rest, all his statements, he accepted it all. So, let's go over what happened. Al Franken said in the coming weeks he will resign because he feels that he cannot be under an ethics investigation headed by Mitch McConnell while being the best senator for the people of Minnesota that he could be. So the next couple of weeks, he's going to resign. Now, let's just talk about what the Democrats are doing with this. I'm resigning is the move. But we had over 30 Democratic senators come out and call for his resignation, beginning with Kirsten Gillibrand, senator from New York. I don't think it's city. One of the two senators from New York, Kirsten Gillibrand started this. She was the first one to call for his resignation. Then it got up to about 30 senators, Democratic senators, calling for him to resign. And I get it. I get it because we're going to set the Democrats are thinking, we're going to set the standard because we have all of this workplace harassment happening, all of this Harvey Weinstein, Hollywood. We got Trump. Let's not forget, let's not bury the lead where we have the sexual predator in chief. Let's not bury the lead. That is the lead. And you people let that happen, okay? And then Roy Moore campaigning for Senator of Alabama, that's happening Tuesday. He sexually assaulted 14-year-old girls. At least one 14-year-old girl. Several teenagers when he was in his 30s and he was a lawmaker. So you know the laws. You know what I'm saying? Judge Moore. Yeah, I'll judge him. He's a pedophile. But you have him campaigning. You have him campaigning for senator as a rapist. As a literal rapist. When you have relations with 14-year-old women, that makes you a racist. That makes you a rapist. He's a racist too, but he's a rapist. Now, he's gonna win. He's gonna be walking it. He's banned from the Gadsden Mall in Alabama. Roy Moore is banned from the mall, and he's gonna walk into the Senate because he's gonna win this special election on Tuesday. Now, that's the dichotomy of the parties. That's Republicans, pedophiles, and they don't care because they need their tax vote. Democrats, we're gonna set the example. Okay, I get the notion, but how many times has setting the example as a party worked for you as a party? How many elections has that won you? How many times have the American people learned from their mistakes? How many times has that happened? Has that ever happened? Look at the flag. Look at the people complaining about the flag. People kneeling for the flag, like 10 players total kneeled for the flag. There's 50-something on each team. But you all would think that the entire NFL is kneeling for the flag. And you want to know why? Because America's stupid, that's why. So, when I watch Bill Maher all the time, and I'm always thinking, Bill Maher, he really needs to stop, being so hard on the Democrats. Like, if we're ever going to win anything, people like Bill Maher and people who have these platforms need to stop being so hard on the Democratic. But you know what? Grow a pair. Democrats need to grow a pair on this one. You can disavow him, and you can put him under ethics investigation. You can do all that. But and you can even go up to him. These senators could have told Al Franken to resign in private. They're coming out and they think that this is gonna be the moment. This is it right here. And I get it. Time magazine named the Me Too campaign, the people that spoke out, named them People of the Year. I get it. This is in a year, you're gonna look back on this and say, hey, remember when people cared about sexual assault? Because it's still gonna be happening. So you need to get it together as a party and grow a pair. You don't have to stand by him. Nobody said stand by him. Now, that was not, again, I believe the women, and I do not think Al Franken is justified in what he did. And I understand that he's wrong. And I'm not saying that it's more important to have Democrats in the Senate than it is to not sexually assault women. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, as a party, if you want to win elections, you need to grow a pair. That's number one. Number two, on that long list of Democratic senators that called for the resignation of Al Franken, you had Bernie Sanders on there. Now, again, I love Bernie Sanders. That's my man. That's my man. But can I know something, Bernie? Can I just ask a question? Are you running? Are you running in 2020? Because if you're not running in 2020, you're just making a lot of noise. Like, listen, the Democratic Party is frayed. The Young Turks guy, CERN, the host of the Young Turks, that internet show, I don't know if they're on actual TV, he said the only way the Democrats can lose in 2020 is if they run another Hillary Clinton. Okay, I can solve this problem right now, because Bernie Sanders is the most popular politician in America, right? Okay, so how about right now, Bernie Sanders says, I am the 2020 Democratic candidate. I am on the ticket, or I'm in the primaries. And everybody gets behind him. Why are we, and is he still a Democrat? Because he's gonna, in the 18 midterms, he's going back to independent. So, is he gonna ruffle feathers continuously? Or are you gonna do so? I mean, I want Bernie Sanders to be president. I would love it. I would love if Bernie Sanders ran for president. But if Bernie Sanders isn't running for president, he's just making noise. And that noise is not helping anybody accomplish anything. My cat walked in my room because he heard me speaking the truth. Hey, Charlie. Don't worry, buddy. We're going to stop this injustice. We're going to stop it. So here's basically the crux of Dyze in Your House this week is the Dems need to get things together. Like, there's a meme going around, like, if you're a Democratic or independent voter and there are candidates who are lined up to run in your party, for your party, and they might have one or two issues that you just are hung up on, you're gonna need to start getting over that now. Because we're not... Listen, I would love to change the world. This two-party system is screwed. It is. But you know what? You know what? If we continue to try to blow up the two-party system and turn it into a 3-party, 4-party, 5-party system, whatever it is, if we wait till 6 months before every election to do that, what's going to happen is Republicans are going to continue. And the Republican platform gets more dangerous every day. Remember the tax bill? Remember the tax cuts? The GOP tax scam? In 18, Medicare and Social Security is getting cut. Charlie, get down from there. My cat's knocking down things. I'm not stopping. Paul Ryan said that Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, that's getting cut in 18. That's going to offset the spending. What? The extra $1.4 trillion in spending? The deficit that gets added to the deficit? You deficit hawks? All you do is complain about a deficit that doesn't exist? The economy's a fake thing that doesn't exist, folks. Live free. Love each other. No ban, no walls. I mean, really, that's the only way to do it. And my cat is... I'm sorry, guys. My cat is really like... You know, jumping around my room trying to get my attention. And I'm trying to tell him that, you know, Charlie, listen. This is a 20-minute thing, buddy. Alright. Did a quick pause because I did have to let my cat out. I'm going to give you 2 extra minutes for this because I'm sorry about that. Anyway, okay. So Democrats need to get our stuff together. Not even Democrats. Left-wing values. People who want... Again, I will repeat the values every week. I will keep repeating them. We are not discriminating against minorities or people of different religions or brown people. That's 1. We are not telling women what they can do with their bodies. That's 2. We need to make sure that every American has access to health care when they don't have money in their pocket. That's 3. And 4, we need to come up with new sources of new ways to make income happen, i.e. recreational cannabis. That's what we need to do. And if we do that together, if we can do that together as Americans, we can band together. We can just stop with this bullcrap. Here's the thing. With Trump, Russia is a thing. And that's going to continue. And there are financial statements handed over from Manafort. Mueller is diving in. And on Monday, we're going to get into how exactly the timeline of when I believe Mueller's getting fired. Because there's no way there's no way that Robert Mueller completes an investigation. Because the investigation is going to end with Trump or people with the last name of Trump going to prison. And that's not going to be a thing that happens. That's not going to be a thing Republicans let happen. So Mueller is on borrowed time. Not borrowed time. What is it? He's on the clock right now. And he needs to get some stuff done. He needs to, like, go lock Trump up now. Or, you know, eventually they are going to fire Mueller. Mueller will be fired. And you know what? People are saying, oh, well, if they fire him, it's going to be like Nixon with the Saturday Night Massacre, and they're going to be forced to do something. No, they're not. They're not going to do anything. They never do anything. Wanna know why? Because people don't learn. That's why. People don't learn. People don't change. You just have to hold. I mean, listen, especially with the rise of private education in America, the test scores are getting lower. It's just, it is what it is. People want more they need more private school. They need to have more of a, like, parents feel that they need to have more of a control over their child's education, and yet none of those parents are educators. So that's the thing that gets me. Like, if you're a teacher, I can understand you being hands-on with your student. with your child when your child is a student at school. But I'm at a school with 200 students, and I probably know every parent because they all hang out there checking up on things, talking to the teacher, making sure not my child. It's bullcrap. It's what it is. And if we want better education not for me and you, I'm old, but I mean like for our future, for the future youth of this country, we need to get out there and we need to make sure that public education is funded more and more people are getting everything they can out of all education that's available, because these kids need to learn. Because if they don't learn, they're just gonna be Republicans. That's what it is. Trust me. Kids mirror their parents unless they're shown another way to go. And it's just sad, man. Like, I liked Al Franken, and I'm mad that he had to resign. But at the same time, I understand the climate we're in, and I understand what the Democrats thought they were doing. I understand that they thought that they were going to set the example, and maybe the Republicans would do the same. They're not. So what you do? What you essentially did was, so Roy Moore's walking in, Al Franken's walking out. So if your idea was to build a stronger Democratic Senate, you failed. So please, grow a pair. We need to win elections, and if we win elections, we can start making changes. And I'm all for a Bernie 2020. I'm all for a Bernie 2020. I really am. I don't want you to think that because I say snide remarks that I'm not for it. I am for it. But don't be on the fence about it. I don't want in 2 years Bernie Sanders to say, I'm endorsing Keith Ellison for president. That's not a thing that could happen. Okay? So, if Bernie wants to reform the Democratic Party, if Bernie wants to change, the Democratic platform and get that universal health care and all that, then what he needs to do is say, hey guys, I'm in. Just get behind me. That's all he's got to do. But he hasn't done that. Trust me, Vermont is fine. If Bernie had to take a couple of minutes away from his day that he focuses on Vermont to run for president, America as a whole would be better. Vermont is really good right now because of Bernie Sanders. The quality of life is great. So, can you spread that wealth to the rest of the country, please? I'd appreciate it. That's all I'm saying. So we got... Okay, so again, you guys have to understand, podcast app, iTunes, search Least Coast Radio. That's Least Coast Radio. We're gonna get a hashtag. Hashtag Least Coast Radio. LCR. Get at me on Twitter at JPorks. Every Friday you can hit me up and get into the podcast. I tweeted out something today. Nobody got to me by the time I recorded, so I'm sorry. But again, you can always get in. I will, if you have hate mail, if you have complaints, if you have questions, if you have comments, if you want to ask me what my favorite color is, I don't care. I'm down. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, hey, I want Jay to talk about something that's not politics. Maybe I'll ask him a question. Hey, that's a good idea. Why don't you get involved? Get involved because, we're only going to be coming more. We're just going to be coming at you more and more. So we've got it. Dyze in your house. Fridays. YouTube. And on the podcast app. Remember to search for it. And remember to like. Remember to share it. And remember to leave a review and give a star rating. I would never ask any of you for money. But I will ask if you can please just click on however many stars you think my podcast deserves. I will be endlessly grateful to you. So that's it. J-Porks. Dyze in your house.